Standing at the door, knocking, waiting for an open heart. Sneaking under the front entrance, barely detectable, is a horde of what I wouldn't call delectable snails. God living in us helps us succeed where others fail. You can't wash away your sorrows with some ginger ale, 'cause you find them at the bottom of your receptacle further down that bunny trail. Out of fear they may hightail. We gather together, keeping our connection tight like dried grass bound in a bale. Not like those bunched in groups, generally speaking, outside their volition, like some doleful birds in jail. Collecting tiny frosty golf ball like clumps of hail. They can do a lot of damage to a barrel intended to contain mail. Not the chain kind like knights used to use, or the linking letters that to me seem like a soft form of social abuse. We don't have to go to the river to fill up a pail. All we gotta do is turn on the tap and have instant access to clean drinking, bathing and ablution water, as well as that which is destined for washing clothes and dishes. I thank God for that privilege. Instead of coins, I'm used to buy the boat with shells or shale. When you tell me about your day, I want to know all the nitty-gritty details. Do you like your crackers with a small smidgen of kale? For the sake of our redemption, Christ himself bore 9-inch nails. Pressing his holy limbs, we go over hill and dale. We won't be frightened when creeping ever closer. From a distance we spot the approach of a fierce gale. Spying with our eyes the need to use our brains and fly free quickly to the nearest tree, or batten down shelter like a cluey little quail. Lord, you bring us back on track when our lives slide off the rails. You keep me going, flowing like a river. You are the wind beneath my wing like sails, causing me to drift away from danger when it speedily gives chase. Chewing on your word daily, so my inspiration is freshly baked, not stale. The devil may assault me, but you comfort me when he attacks violently, trying to gouge out my eyes, so I can only deliver my messages in braille. You won't catch me complaining with the world's loudest wail, just because I didn't get accepted into Harvard, Liberty, Biola, or Yale, and you are found perennial hope and Zayo. Praise God over consuetude is our consuetude isn't to keep genders separate. I'm puzzling over the logic of those who only get together to copulate, not even sharing a meal together between so-called soulmates. It seems like they are robbing themselves of a beautiful present, though I know they will receive that gift of kicking it in the company of the opposite gender, when we won't give a monkeys about each other's opinion, cause our eyes will be too focused on the King of Kings to buffer with all of the curiosity we have right now, hardly able to contain ourselves about the mystery of why our brains are buzzing with particular ideas or methods of reasoning after work. There are too many questions that demand answers. It is endearing to assist your sexual partner with child-rearing, and best when you will betroth before you commit to raising offspring. For how will they possess any certainty or security that the curtains aren't gonna close prematurely on your relationship if she's got no ring on her finger to keep her close by his side? Like the shore is to the tide, although it may drift away, it surely comes back deep by and by. And in my return shall I bring you smiles, or lift your spirit, my fair lady? And in my anxious mind shall I procure a puzzle for your deliberation, predicting your delectation and titillation. If I should desire to stick around in order to assist when need be, standing in the shadows, unsure how great a contribution I should make besides my wages, and want warm cuddles as the pages turn of our shared history. I will be your hero, enjoy my shining moments in the sun when it's time for me to be your rescuer from poop scooping duties. Heading out on a dapper run, hunting quick fixes for my woman's temper. When she flies off the handle, I will calm her down like candles in the ship of a Star of David on her bedroom floor. Only ever viewing perfection and never flaws in her. Did I ask too much, begging for practical tips on how to equip her for my passing? She can manage well enough without me. She pretty much grows this kid up on her own anyway. I'm mostly in it for the cookies she bakes and the gurgles of delight I receive when my little sprog snuggles up to me, calling Pa. Gazing up at earth and heaven, thoughtful with adoring eyes. Your body should be a place of warmth and love, but it doesn't mean either automatic or eventual acceptance of sin. We should not impose conditions on the act of offering our hearts up to you, saying, if you meet my requirements, I will take you on as my Lord. Who are we to ever sit in judgment over you, our life-giving God? My goal is to reach you, teach me all the things I need to know. I can't make it on my own, plodding through this world without you. I know you hate it when my friends crack dirty jokes, making discriminatory comments, uttering defamatory, derogatory remarks about the opposite sex, making light of abuse like it doesn't ache, like an anvil dropped upon the skull of a human from the heavens above. You say to meditate upon what is wholly good. pure, true and right. I know we are precious in your sight. I'm straining to hide the fact I'm feeling slighted. I refuse to let my vexed mentality steal your joy away from me. You are the epitome of patience. You could have shot laser beams from your eyes at those villainous souls who tried to scold you and hold you to that rugged cross. You didn't stay on it for longer than necessary, only as much time as it took for them to thrust a spear through your side. I am full of pride just to be called your child, though I may be reviled by the world for this decision I'm making right now. Awaken to the truth that only you can get me through these seraphic centuries guarding gates of pearl. The ones in your kingdom will be far more dazzling than any on display here on earth. When my days are dwindling, you are sparking. The kindling of my hope for each passing set of 24 hours brings me closer to your throne room. Driven by determination to get there, in Hallelujah Square, where no more is heard the cry of a weeping mother whose little one was born with his umbilical cord wrapped around his throat, or the poor sweet dear who popped up the wrong way and had to be twisted before her removal from the womb hotel where she chilled as the wine was distilled, whilst the thrills of life grew less entertaining than the embrace of my almighty Saviour's face. Crossroads in the sight of imminent attack. Who will stand up for our freedoms? Who will lay down their lives to protect them? Can we have a politician who doesn't lie through their teeth to us? One who doesn't try to line their own pockets more than benefiting the people they are serving under, who are supposed to be their boss, not the other way around. We may not always possess the right to stand up for what we believe in without losing their jobs. Those who claim to be open-minded may possess not the slightest inkling of interest in beginning gospel truth-related dialogue. Don't tell me that the anything goes mentality can pass for second-rate Christianity. My religion is not just a social club for Sunday morning or evening services. We abide in your house anywhere two are gathered in your name. You are here in our midst. Futures are being decided on the whim of an opinion poll. Don't lie to yourself that this falsely derived conclusion represents the whole of our generation. Some have clouds of delusion following them around every which way they happen to turn. You have crazy situations where biological parents can't even be listed as giving birth or providing a sperm for their own progeny in certain circumstances. When will this matter end? Start treating your gender like a friend instead of the enemy. God never intended you to hate on yourself or the opposite sex. Flexing your muscles isn't all you were created to do. I can see you living on your high calling at long last when the world steps in the opposite spirit. You don't see us the way we see ourselves all the time. You never accept our vaingloriousness nor our cringing reactions to watching our names go up in lights, preferring instead for them to be tossed in as opposed to hanging around like a decaying dancehall queen before I slip off into dreams again. And for me, when the joke of life is wearing thin, I am easily pierced by others, attacking arrows as if I've got a custard skin or nerves. At any rate, I don't deserve to be loved, yet there's breath beyond the stalemate of kicking against the pricks, hoping one of them doesn't pierce my heart, ready for us to depart life steadfast. Ready us to depart life steadfast. Sitting ducks, souls preserved by infinitely powerful being. Like Minties, the population of this planet may contain eggs. The bodily package God gives us from day dot may contain a normal-sized brain as well as arms and legs. Or we could be born with an intelligent box the size of a pea stuck inside our skull. Mull that over for a second. Have you got something to be grateful for? I think so. If you think not, then you just don't know the Lord our God, maker of heaven and earth. You possibly don't even possess awareness of your worth in his eyes. Beyond that which any scales can measure, only he can shift the weight from your soul when you decide to re-identify yourself as heaven's treasure. I say the pleasure is all mine to be loved by your divine essence, who doesn't devour me or allow me to be gobbled by beasts, as I deserve for treating others as least when I should operate with the mindset that they are the world's greatest. Have you heard the latest? We are not bound by fatalistic precepts. That which we were ever told was an inevitable pathway for our world to follow isn't necessarily the destiny we will be forced to embrace. We will deal with this dragon if he or she ever arrives on the pages of our history books. Until that day arises, and even afterward, we shall look to the King of Kings to be our guidance, hidden his warning silence. We won't perish in silence. Your omniscience is what I seek to advocate. This world was created to give you praise, so let us bring our sacrifice of worship and lift it up with hands cupped in the direction of your mouth to sup upon our spirits. They become a part of you, swimming around inside your body, unable to be flushed out by colonic irrigation. Let us never be a source of irritation to you, like a bug crawling under your skin you can't get rid of. Because we know you could permit us to perish in innocence, but you choose to keep our grubby charming cells around your doorstep. For some reason only you could ever know, and may refuse to tell us, because it isn't important in the scheme of things. Just let me trust you, your little baby tadpoles, warriors used for your will, for the advancement of your kingdom, fully relying on God. The binary code of mankind is altered by a slate of infinite hand. The devil's plans for this land shall not fructify, as so long as God's people pray, they will get in his way. Cause him to decide not to stay. Shoot like a fly and be blown away, that by the power of the Ancient of Days. Lion of Zion, we call upon your holy name to devour the evil one and throw him in that pit of flames. We know you will vanquish that snake in your perfect timing. Until that day arise, the battle rages on. Lord, prepare us to be a sanctuary where only you dwell. Pure and holy, let us tell of your glory, causing us to swell with pride like a dam full of water about to burst its walls. We are gushing with enthusiasm, for the keeper of all promises is soon to arrive, to rip open the skies. We can't hardly wait for that moment, Lord. You are my wings that causes me to rise above my circumstances, soaring over the mountains and rivers. Lord, you are the springs underneath my heels, causing my spirit to bounce like a baby in its mother's arms that struggles to remain settled. Yet in your presence is fullness of joy and a peace that passes all understanding. I will exuberantly praise you with my life, not just my lips, with my hips, with the fish and chips I share with my friends and those who only see themselves as my enemies. Oh Lord, if only they could view themselves as you do, wake them up to their consciences. Can they see the error of their ways? You can turn their heels around, spin their like wheels back down the track they came from. You could surround them with a circle of flames to keep them from reaching us. Yet you choose to prick their soul instead. One of them are dreams of where the road they decide to tread upon shall lead. If they are not careful to love your Lord, I can bear those honey. It's funny when my nose is running, you never complain and send down lightning bolts to punish me for not wiping it fast enough to avoid causing a dramatic scene. You were never too embarrassed to be seen with me in public. You remain serene when looking upon things that cause my stomach to churn like curdled milk. Spin me like a silkworm. Use my life as a sacrifice to make something beautiful, returning no glory to you. The unearned rest isn't as valued as that hard fought. I don't want to remain a slave to sin, fighting for peace against the beast within I battle on, striving to assassinate all that causes me to procrastinate when it comes to my call of duty, urged by the Almighty to serve him to full capacity. It shouldn't always be about what others can do for me, but I should mostly be concerned with how I can serve them like Christ's servant, had an example of leadership, nothing can travel on his sacred heart. Flames of passion are burning me, I'm yearning for a deeper intimacy than any I have previously known. You have shown me the way, Yahweh, so I choose to walk in it, be an imitator of you in every area of my life, and never call it quits. You have equipped me with everything I need to survive all the perils of this life, like a goat wandering around the treacherous paths of a mountain incline. Let me recline in your arms, feast upon your bread and wine. Even in the midst of the storm, let me not whine and complain. When the thunder crashes and the sky flashes with lightning as rain pours on the plain, let us not be frightened like rabbits, deluded at our habits which we struggle to break out the traps of. Are the be all and end all of our existence. Like the path of flame, keep our tongues tame when they tend to go wandering off on tangents and destructive trails. The Holy Grail won't extend our mortal life, but your cup of suffering leads to glory. At the conclusion of all my delusions, arise a welcome epiphany. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here at all, or in possession of a hope that is certain when the curtains close on my life, lasting for the duration of eternity. In you I am rooted and established. You expand my horizons and the holding abilities of my tents. I will seize onto your truth, grab this opportunity before it's come and went. Then I lament, rent my garments, tearing them to shreds. My time is borrowed, it was never mine to own. From the hands of Jehovah, it was always on loan to my brittle bones. Hide your existence as library. You do not vary in your nature, though you contain divergence in the emergence of truth, like butterfly from chrysalis transformed. The prism like slant of eyes exalted beyond clouds. I'm moving forward, I'm not going back to the way things used to be. Were you my drug or just my dependency? Can I know who I am outside the context of your company? Is it even possible for me to possess a unique identity outside the collective whole? Is that the origin from which I derive my wholesomeness? Are you my source of peace and joy? The nutrient that creates or destroys me? I experience inertia resisting the change you attempt to have wrought in me. Though I sought for guidance in every nook and cranny, leaving no stone unturned, no cave of wonders or hollow log undisturbed. Undeterred of my quest for enlightenment, from my tranquil surroundings I'm bound and unhindered, yet I'm splintered. Part of me shoots off in the direction of you, always entangled in this moment of euphoria, mingled with suffering, knowing you were suffocating me and yet experiencing Stockholm Syndrome simultaneously. Yet I hold the key to the prolonging of my captivity. I am able to walk away anytime. Help is just a phone call or a prayer away. When my batteries are flat and reception for telecommunication is sketchy at best, I fail to see how extrasensory perception shall get me out of this pickle jar in which I rest. I may be the closest thing to heaven you could ever meet, or I just might be the one to pull you off your feet and trample on you in the dust. That's why you should never place your trust in humans, but only in divine hands, my friends. They will bite you in the end when you least expect it. Perhaps my nature is far too paranoid and suspicious. There's nothing wrong with being superstitious. In fact, it's quite delicious. That's if it doesn't lead to the wings of fear being tightly pressed around my body as its ropes of hope. Jungle in ferocity call themselves around me. Hear me cry, Jehovah, this child of inspiration is broken by you alone. I am a walker to the fixed position, unmovable, unyielding to any snares of the tempter, twisting my prayers into misshapen moths. Manipulation was never the motivation of my generous actions. It's happiness to be discovered. Always the next craggy hill, Chris. The disposition of junipers turning towards the sun. The world is watching you. We are all waiting for the moment when you beam us home into your arms. I can't hardly wait for that instant to arrive. I am ready for your love to usher me into your presence. I don't ever want to stop being your kid for as long as I live. I don't ever want to walk away from your love. No matter what people say or do, I give my whole life into your hands. I commit my spirit into your keeping forever and ever. Preserve my integrity and devotion. Let it not drown in an ocean of dirtiness or misery. Let me not get caught off guard. Let me not let the evil that surrounds me get the best of me. I know this life belongs to you. I don't want the world to ever turn away from you. Never do I want to be the worst example of love of one of those adopted into your family. Oh my heavenly Father, let me serve you completely with my whole heart. Let me never walk away from your love. Nothing can convince me otherwise that you are the only truth and the soul pure to my melodies. Let my life be a sweet melody to your ears. I know you delight in hearing me praise you just as much as you are enfolded at the side of my obedience, especially when it costs me something. When I have to lose friends for the sake of the gospel, but I gain more than is ever stripped away from me in terms of dignity, being willing to publicly embarrass myself for the sake of preserving your truth in this world, being that soul and light, getting a fight when I think of how much of my life I wasted so far. You made the shining stars, they are singing glory to your name. I don't have to hang my head in shame any longer. I know you're not playing games when you say you crave my whole heart, not just a tiny little fragment of it, offered up nonchalantly to you, casually approaching your frame with one eye on my phone, and it turned into the latest radio broadcast, blasting songs that don't honor you in the slightest, and yet I expect the whole of me to be passed into heaven without any problems. Surely if I dip my garment in the flames, it shall be fried to a crisp. Let every part of me be fully surrendered to you, Adonai. 11 p.m. I'm scared of growing cold outside your heart. Please don't ever stray from my side. Let me live up my identity as your bride. I'm full of pride just to know you as my leader and guide. To have you inside of me is the greatest privilege humans shall ever possess. To be owned by you, be enthroned in me. Never fly away like a bird with its claw unchained from its cage. Wings unclipped, stripped of that weight that so easily entangles, dangling over the edge of a cliff. Wondering if I will make it through another day with my holiness wholly preserved or merely partially. Handing over the key to the cat that is my life. Sticking you in the driver's seat where you belong and should always remain. My energy is drained, yet my blood still flows through my nervous secretary. Thanks to you, divine breath, navigating my way in and out of these familiar catacombs. When will they come to drag us kicking and screaming from our homes, re-educate our little ones, brainwash them to talk in what they falsely describe as more tolerant tongues? Yet do these individuals who claim to be open-minded leave any room in the world for a diversity of beliefs when it comes to how we classify gender or the method we use to define a union between two loving hearts, consensual adults? The both of them, we can't take spirituality out of the equation. In removing it, we extricate the safeguard from our souls. We are nothing at all without the maker of the universe calming us and strengthening us in these quiet hours where we travail for the endurance of honesty in this world. The universe I once knew appears to be slipping away from me. I'm not going to pretend to be okay. I won't just stand back and watch as the globe burns to ash. I'm done talking trash even about those who would view me as nemesis. There's no hit on my premises, regardless of if I'm seen as predator or just a kid aiming at making purity prominent and purpose-driven lies prevalent, maintaining my reverence. And you won't find elegance, you never cease to be relevant to every passing generation. Once you released me from my bondage, I couldn't help but step forward with a bounce. From that twinkling revelation onward. Blessed union of souls unbreakable by dusty claws. Don't look for signs of eccentricity or peculiarity where it doesn't truly exist. Just accept the life you were given and quit trying to change or rearrange it. Why is it so strange that I should experience frustration with my predicament? Should I just throw my arms in the air in despair? I would prefer the electric chair to that kind of a life where I catch myself declaring defeat when faced with its seemingly impossible loss. Here I am on this cloud of dirt nestling in the hands of God. I'm not attempting to stir up trouble. I only fight when necessary. You can catch these civilizations clashing all the time. It doesn't take an expert in divination to ascertain where our future shall assign us. If we're not careful, you can see the way this world is going. We catch ourselves carpooling with devils in the skies, or could it just be angels who appear a tiny bit disheveled in our ultra judgmental lives? Man, we'd be the ones in the wrong as well as in the right simultaneously. I don't want to see my heart perish to the night. You've vanquished all my foes, my shining light in my time of anguish. You shall not let me languish in this pit of misery and despair 1 minute longer. Check the tiny details of my life. See how you have birthed a new thing in me. From the second I first called upon your face and tasted the fire of your sweet embrace with the lips of my heart, you eclipsed all the opposition. They could never come close to comparing to this intoxicating love which we are sharing. Bearing revelations to the ones left in our dust. In you I trust. More than any other being, you reign supreme. I require most desperately your eyes, for see you beyond my circumstances, which I get bogged down in, looking out to that mindset, which only leads me to regret this romance between divinity and humanity shall never cease. You have experienced both concurrently. The current of hologist electricity flows free from you to me. If not for you, where would I be? A forlorn frog on a log, not living according to the direction I was born to pursue. Until I met you, my life was a stew of contradictions. The restrictions I found in you kept me out of harm. I've naught to boast of, but your love watering my drought. Our love keeps recurring, watch us running back towards each other like the letters that combine to form a palindrome. There is nothing that will keep me away from you, even if I tried I couldn't resist you. I shouldn't remain mum about the truth, I will let my lips escape wide open, spouting forth your heavenly wisdom. I shall keep on gushing forth with rivers of it. You fill my belly with living water, causing me to burst with it like the dam walls when the clouds come, but erupting in explosions of furious torrents down on us. Let me never be abhorrent in your sight, this God of mine can't remain stitched. I feel compelled to shine brightly for you. This spell of rumors of affection's unfortunate demise, now is not the time for it to come to an end. It has not arrived at Dead Man's Junction just yet. Its limbs have not ceased to function at this juncture. Its heart is still beating. There still remains a spring in its step. It hasn't been committed to ashes, dust, and the obituary column just yet. There's no need to stop the clocks or call the cops to report a murder of innocence. For without trust, love's heart ceases beating. It has no ticker. The flicker of its flame has completely died out and perished in the tournament of minds it experiences. It never flees the battle if it indeed truly exists. Love is for soldiers, not the feeble-minded. It requires warfare for its maintenance, constantly working on its plumbing and internal wheels and cogs. It needs the oil of kindness and the fuel of an interventionist God. It nods to progress only in the form of purity, forgives transgressions if discovered in celestial framework. It doesn't jerk people around or break blood pumping organs or promises. It plays a chamber orchestra of merriment joyously, piping pretty paeans to our immortal emancipator. Cause my soul to remain in pristine condition before my brain ceases transmission of its smoke signals to the rest of my body. Let me focus on the parts of myself I can take with me beyond this life till that occasion occurs when like a rocket I become divided forever. Splitting the same from my rotting corpse, floating above the scenery. I am the greenery of eternal gardens. That peaceful river in which my heart does dwell immaculate. My motives are diaphanous, my appetite for your love voracious. Is it phantasmagorical, the fact you are the oracle which leads me to a truth both historical and unable to be set in stone? Protect my lazy bones from harm, I feel a deep calm washing over me. The clovers of the field are found in unison in your hands, which gather dew drops in your mist. See them adorn the leaves, dew of rainbow droplets. I lack gratitude for what I've got, ever looking back. Reluctant to embrace the beauty I hold now before my vision. Guide my thoughts and decisions. Hide me under the shadow of your wings despite the crowd's derision. Make cuts and incisions in me if need be. Remove the impurity in me that threatens to tip over my balance. There is a dichotomy of faith and fear woven within my members. Jostling over the economy of space contained between the two ears that own. These eyes have seen the seeds you sow. Watched how they've grown from the high to a grasshopper. To the tallest of giraffes, or perhaps a small pygmy-sized hippo instead. You make my bread for meat, the mixture of dough with your living water. Holy Lamb, who is like to slaughter for the sake of my redemption? There is no pretension in you, only eternal ingenuity. There's an incongruous lack of stability in me, inconsistent with the belief I claim misrepresents me. I am reprehensible in my own eyes. Too many simplify our willingness to follow the dictates of our conscience. Can we rectify what has been corroded into flakes of metal, toasting the petal that was crushed to produce a perfume you could bank on in your worrying decades? Your eyes tearing up at the thought of enduring another tongue-tied progeny who falsely claims to be in mastermind of their own destiny. Scattered grains of illogical death defying biorhythms, the consummate deity, a jungle of cerebellum. Stems not buying the illusion of antebellum existences. Even in sleep the war rages on. The butterflies caged and suffocated by boredom shall breathe again. When their fragile corpses are discovered, pinned to the dark wall of your heart, my only target. The nebulous origins of our apparently inherited holy nimbus. A cloud of glory shall surround her, she whose face stands up from all the crowds. If you could make yourself proud of those you love, by the way you live your life. If you but knew how to keep us satisfied when your tongue remains tied to a lack of patience and endurance, or an insistence in always being correct, or a rushing river of words that can't be tamed in energetic buzzing, a swarm of angry bees. Disturbed beyond belief, when a thieving claw attempts to yank that honeycomb from yonder hive, fell into an old dive, dunked my head in an oceanic bed, God's own bathtub where I scrub away the essence of disengagement from his presence, the filth I have accumulated in my journey pressed from dust to unjust realms of crippled innocence. Must I always wallow in ignorance? Could you love me despite my insolence? What if I have already consumed my body's weight worth of chow? You remain in the dark about, permanently stumbling around like a blind man in the darkness, bumping into every wall in the house, cursing the fact you weren't born with glow-in-the-dark eyes. Perhaps you should have behaved like a hungry horse and gobbled up more carrots as a kid. Did you listen to your mother when she told you of their benefits? She wouldn't have to scold you if she smeared them all over with dripping rivulets of milky chocolate. We could happily drown in that river, continue forever unabated. We dwell among the disinhibited, as amphibians, rabbits reconcile themselves to a life of habitual hopping. The Houdini, the perpetual existence, the perpetual escapee, an existence-long pattern of copycat Houdini, who could separate the genuine refugee from the money-grabbing national confederating useless pilot quote willing to contribute nothing to society. But an unshifting weight, and a fish sick in the perpetual unresolvable greed, who shall play referee to determine which umpires blow the whistle on behalf of our empires, enshrine wars. Do something with your hands besides clap, you stupid monkey. I'm an artificial body parts junkie. My central processing unit is in desperate need of a refurb. Let me nap. As my cranium collapses into idiotic stupor, I claim moaning crescent. Shake yourself awake, I've had about as much as I can take of this familiar scenery. Though often admire the greenery surrounding me on every side, like hunters encircling a rabbit about to blast its brains out. Should I go the trade or plane route to reach you? How long will it take to claim your heart? I live to further down the trail of love, then my journey through the streets of clouds, arriving in your town. You know we'll be cruising. Let's discuss all our bruises, those who were done us wrong and those faithful words who stuck around. We ground our teeth, we shed our beef, roasted them in the oven of our minds, leaving revenge up to God alone in real life. None of these knows bullets flying from their guns. We'll steal over your moment in the sun together in each other's arms. You're such a charming one. Could you be my precious princess? The one I spend on my cash on, like I've got a rash, itching to spend every cent in my wallet. I'm not big on quality time like I used to be. Say you know I love you, give a kiss. When I can't be present, myself disqualifies me. Claiming you as my queen, though we're miles apart. Can't I just say what I mean? Why do I have to be so sneaky and abstract when I'm around you? I'm spitting those facts like this, wanna kiss you. Treat you like the solar star going into the sea means my last chance to express affection for you, even if it doesn't really. And you wake in the morning rubbing the sleep out your eyes in those crowds of traffic in that concrete jungle. Could I be lying to you, lioness? No, I'm on the prowl. Do you think it's foul that I want to grab your ear and talk it off? That I love to scoop out the contents of your brain? Don't leave them locked up in that cell, that shell of a cranium which contains genius in the process of being transformed, caterpillar to butterfly like by Jesus. Can you squeeze me in your schedule? It wouldn't be that hard for you to please me. I'm not as fussy as I used to be in regards to the way you live your life, so long as mine is
pleasing in God's sight. I don't care if they accuse me of compromise. If you say you love Jesus, that's good enough for me. Who am I to query your walk with Christ? Relationships go so much deeper than cyber wallpaper. I ain't gonna know you tomorrow just because I hail you today. Honey, I don't roll that way. If I promise you forever, I mean it. Don't mean me, but assuming that it's sincere in my actions of speech. Can I practice what I preach for once in my life? Do me more than just lead you up the garden path. Actually keep my promises for a change. Your company sweet like peaches. Don't leave me stranded on a desert Isle of beaches yet. Submerge head first in the black pools of regret. Take a dive with me in rock candy lagoons that stop your teeth for seconds. You laugh in them and don't see it coming. Didn't see it coming. You told me Jesus was the one you were running after. You don't just love him because of all the times he came through for you and protected you from disaster. Who am I to doubt your sincerity of you with hilarity? As if there's any kind of disparity between you and me. Consider showing love the greatest act of charity. By laying down your life, I ain't playing. You won't catch me doing that in the month of Sunday. Some say sexual in the extreme. See me swinging from those hobbies. I love a brainy chick, a stranger viewer above the crowd. She sticks out like a sofa. I'm a smart girl in the world of dumbos. I don't pan off the elephants. My patchy incidents of dermatitis would indicate my shallowness. I've been conditioned to chase after specific skin types. Yeah, God has broadened my horizons the minute I started to view the world through his eyes. I ain't lying about the fact I'm intentionally multicultural or hiding my obvious targets of certain destinations where I send my loving arrows. Did I pierce your heart as you did mine? Cut your eyes, becoming shocked at the sight. For shade when you turn away. Drastic measures, so I cling to the treasure of your memory. A melody of my lady, who was remedy. Her magnificent melanin-enriched ebony features, enhancing my every waking hour, devouring each quarter of her clock face. We embrace in dreams yet in the conscious world. Look at us spaced out like elongated sentences, bubble wrapped osmosis. Lamentations of my lame Lamington like love, chew and spit out. That pine in the field shall prosper under the almighty eyes and the hands of the maker of all earth and land. Sea and sky, El Shaddai, who is ever watching over us in its passing moment as time goes by. Let us be drawn closer to him, not become more distant far. Too often we act indifferent towards it instead of recognizing the gravity of it, how it pulls us away from his comforting presence, causing guilt and sorrow to invade our conscience. Great gain is obtained in the healing combination of godliness and contentment. I'm still learning to be satisfied with my situation, knowing you bring me to a better place, so I don't have to wring up my hands in despair like dirty dishcloths, as if that were it was even possible. Can we find a certain sweetness in our teardrops, knowing we have touched heaven, gaining entrance with genuine repentance? That's the only way he can pour out his new wine out of us. Use us as willing vessels, pounding the old me to dust with mortar and pestle. Emily, I wrestle with the right thing to do. Under your wings I nestle, discovering peace and rest in you. My death sanctuary from the version of me I detest, the one that fails every test instead of passing it. Help me to stay legit, you inspire, lifting my spirit higher in instead of loneliness. No, I never have to taste loneliness, cause you are kicking it with me, always keeping me company. I'm not locked in the confinement of a solitary moment when I'm out of the reach of humans, disconnected from that foe world posing as real. You know my deal, you touch my heart. Why do you conceal yourself behind your creation? Would it hurt my eyes too much for you to reveal yourself in the full display of your glory? My life is a chapter in your story of mankind's redemption. Let me never express any pretentiousness, getting on my high horse and acting like I run the world. Remember who is the one who can permit my destruction at the drop of a smelly sock on the pavement. No birds fall to the ground without you knowing about it. Boasting of the mighty things you done, yeah, I'm crowing about it, proud of joy. Hovering over my head, I throw the gauntlet. save your steering wheel. People may say you're a traitor to your race, or claim to know how to be better than your own skin color. You needn't be afraid when your feet trail down darkened hallways, hearing funny voices when you twist the knob and creak open the doorway, tears flowing like a waterfall, 'cause you're scared stiff someone in your house is gonna get in another useless tip. Don't worry, Booga's always got his eye on you, though few of us may ever catch him spying through a hole in the clouds like you got the privilege of doing. You could chime your way into mom's heart, you're already issuing. Wish the two of us were reminiscing, looking back on another day we blew. If you threw in that towel named life, I couldn't survive. I'm so glad you didn't kick the bucket like the devil tried to force you to set in motion. I don't wanna drown inside the ocean of your eyes, bathe forever in this glittering galaxy. For longer than just a novel. I'm not a one-night-stand kind of dude. When I love you, I sign up for love. I lance a lot of pigeons, but I had to give you more than a second glance, 'cause you're dancing while it gigs around my heart again. Thinking about doing jigs in the woodland sunshine. Picture the two of us toasting marshmallows round the campfire. To please Jehovah as I go. Stamp out the influence of the lie. You could be my vixen, I your wolf in your lip. I do declare you to be sweeter than chocolate eclairs. Miss Thing, are you willing to go there? Dig out all the treasure hidden within the cave of your mind. One day all these secrets I keep so well guarded close to my chest, so be yours to know as well as mine. Let's recline together in twin hammocks on a distant island, somewhere like Bora Bora, only less commercialized. Heaven is superior to everywhere on earth. Everywhere on this planet anyway. Heaven is superior to anywhere on this planet anyway. Like all other women are inferior in comparison to you, babe. The love you display could be a bridge for many folks between that sweet celestial city and the grave. Keep on showing grace, even in the face of contempt. You flip their perceptions around, confounded their expectations of you. Now they watch you soar, see how fit you become. A fire lit on their tongues. My gem on mine from any heart besides Jehovah's. I don't never want to give you a reason to doubt me or think for 1 second that you can live without me, 'cause you know my heart can't go on beating unless you're beside me, buddy. Besides me, buddy, I'm getting in the practice rounds now, behaving like I would if you were in my hood, if I had you nestled close to my chest. I beat my breast and roll, wondering where did you go? If I have to spend more than a month without my sun, moon, stars, and rainbows, everything magical and mystical and perfect I find in your eyes, defining the cosmos for me, speaking volumes of God's glory. I implore you to have mercy on a poor sinner like me. That isn't my identity any longer. The two of us are winners now, but sometimes I forget who I am in Christ. Part of me wants to cross the line, fall back on spineless amoeba like days when I was such a pushover, allowing that devil to treat me like a doorman and walk all over me. I'm sure you can relate, but now you got the victory. Jehovah silenced all the bet we got called like Red Rover. He did instigate a new way of looking at the world today, seeing in black and white, no more shades of grey, but we're Christian in the method we used to view the world now, seeing every soul's potential for redemption, being more careful who we hang around, just in case they drag us down instead of lifting us up beyond the clouds. Laughing out loud with tears in my eyes when I think of how many traps I allowed myself to fall in. You know true love transcends skin, it sees straight through to the soul. Jehovah is the one who makes us whole. He knits us together, kitting us out, fitting us for the fight, giving us spiritual weapons. The more we abide with him, the easier it becomes to slay those demons, to transcend all those excuses posed against reasons for not going to church, seeing greater joy in showing up than staying at home and watching TV, getting more thrills out of reading his word and flicking through mindless magazines. We don't need illicit or legalized substances to alter our mood. We be the kind of chicks and dudes transformed by the blood of Christ for life, so blessed to be included in his family for life. Don't care who knows. I'm pretty sure it's no secret to my folks that this is serious for me. It's no joke. I'd rather bleed and choke to death on my own vomit, strangle my fingers round my own throat rather than separate myself from you. I hope you never have a reason to doubt you. Cut the finest figure. I'd prefer to pull the trigger on myself as opposed to putting any more distance between us than there already is physically. I just want to hold you close as the flames are to the twigs, sticking to you like a pig to mud. like mud to a pig. I'm working out, stressing unnecessarily of how I'm gonna hold it down. You always wear the crown, you're my queen for life. I'm sure you realize this truth by now. I'm wearing myself out with worry over you. There's only one tiny permission slip holding me back from hurrying to your side. I will provide for you, teaming up with Jesus to help you when you cry those bitter pools. When your soul seems on the rocks and you feel like you're about to crash, I can help you deal with that clash inside yourself. You will be the one shining like the sun, sparkling like champagne in your brilliance. Yet let sorrow no longer pour like monsoon rain down your cheeks. You are wandering will crash beyond those days and weeks of misery. You're a brand new you, doing exactly what God has called you to take part in for the longest. You were strong enough to fight these battles. You're a champion, I always knew it. Love to see those dreams slowly but surely coming true for you. I dig hearing what's new with you. And for when I've got you in my view, I will pursue you with intent to encourage your godliness. I hate to bring up your past, it's not like I'm using it against you. I just want to compare your old life to your new, so you can remind yourself what God has brought you fruit from. Rejoice in the growth you see in yourself, how you don't get tricked by the same old traps anymore. Conscious of the war, no one who crossed made you to be a brave warrior or mercenary of the enemy scouts. You haven't even taken your life experience like the Alps yet. This change is palpable. You are culpable for the redemption of your generation, Elohim's tool. She takes the cake for being iconoclastic, unmasking our nemesis. I have to fight hard to view you as a spiritual being more than I do a physical one. But it becomes easier the more we twin our focus on the power of God's Son working through us. I do not mean to bring tears to your eyes or wear you out in frustration and disappointment. It was never my intention to vex you, enjoying the way you flex your muscles and weigh things out in your mind, mulling them over till you figure what it is you were trying to achieve. You express contentment in the manner you adopt these days, portraying the essence of a lady who's tasted the cure to all distress, concentrating on your blessings instead of all who last out in jealousy, betrayed you, treated you with contempt. I see you suffering for the sake of righteousness. You discovered how to be yourself again, always claiming your identity and the person God plans you to be all along. We are not strong enough to handle all the pressures of this life on our own. Don't let your candle of enthusiasm for the unveiling of God's mysteries ever die out in you. Permit not your lips to ever speak untruth. You are a reflection of His grace and mercy in this slippery instant. We struggle valiantly to seize to no avail. May your trails always be happy ones. I will gladly in my days as a bullet in your gun, just to be close to your sweet hands. We don't always take the most loving approach when it comes to dealing with those who we perceive as being stuck in traps. It's hard to grasp how anyone could be so foolish until we tread them out on their kicks. Struck our foot against the stile instead of climbing over it, clambering to get to the top of a mountain quick smart. You give me joy like a fountain bursting out of me. I find myself becoming increasingly greedy for your time and company, starting to see greater accuracy in the truth that there's no me without you. Please remain in my view. You help me abstain from sinful activity. Thanks to the nativity scene captivated by your imagination, so desire you won't ever lose that fire. Burn bright, my lady, love for life. Hell should I shall light your path with the torch of His holy word. Would you risk everything to save the one you love? I can't see myself willingly destroying my own body just because I don't wish to see you suffer alone. If we ever wreck ship's sails, one of us going to help the other out of another pickle. Keep those tears from trickling down your cheekbones. Sorry, I've been fickle. My weak molds emanate from a shipping crate stuck in your backyard, covered by tall grass cranes and small bent track marks. I've got a second life like my old pillow, turned ragged, repurposed as a child cover. Let heavenly fire consume my sacrifice, offered to the friend of sinners, flip to winners who sticks closer than a brother. I never had all this as I always did. Kissing goodbye to the game face I used to own, a lifestyle of a player who's finally grown up, woken up to himself, decided to sniff a whiff of the coffee. Told a line till the end of time before I get caught up in the undertow. I know it's true, we all reap what we sow. If I plant in tears, I have prudent joy. I cut my hands to the sky in gratitude to the Lord Most High. Destroy all imagery of false messiahs. I'm lifting your name high. You never cease to amaze or inspire. Ancient of days, I've been living for you exclusively. Truth isn't that elusive to me. I ain't gotta stick on my gumshoes. It's obtainable in the form of G.O.D. Approach this thing with accuracy. Don't talk about what I haven't experienced. Learning how to take my maker and master seriously. So delirious in love with him, the world looks at me like I'm crazy. How to get to be this bright and bubbly. I'm determined they won't ever know about the things that trouble me till I reach the other side. When everything turns out right, then I can whoop it up due to His ability to continually deliver me, not leaving me shaking and shivering out in the cold. I've got His heart to hold. It keeps me out of harm's way, sweeping me off my feet in amazement. How could the creator of the universe find anything to love in me? Destroyed over getting caught. Yet that just makes me more determined to claim my destiny, redeemed by Him in the lake of fire. I ain't gotta swim, cause I've got those robes of righteousness, clothed in His glory, a victor. The old me is dead in hell's pools. I ain't gonna be that fool no more. I don't ever want my eyes to stray away from your side. Size me up, tell me how I can wise up. comply with the expectations I have for myself to quit resurrecting my old sinful stinking self. I know there's purpose and purity waiting on the other side of this monstrous tormenting experience. After the fire comes the flowers. Lord, help me not to get devoured by my own self-absorption. I know I have gratified those devilish desires. I aim to inspire everyone around me. Though those demon dogs may harm me, they shall not pound me into dust. In God I put my trust. I'm dangerous. How easy it is to slip up. I wasn't even being prideful, just far too curious for my own good. I let my eyes linger a little bit too long. It's not too difficult to stick my fingers on it. The reason why I've got to be in my body, if we're being honest, keep astonishing me, admonishing me when necessary. Study me with your miracle working power displayed until my final waking hour. I don't want to be devoured by the teeth of the enemy. Lord, help me Lord, help me to stay faithful and devoted to the woman I love, even if she only sees me as a friend. This is good practice for marriage. Whatever kind of relationship we may have, I am starting to see potential for eternal companionship in her. I prefer her company to all earthly women, and yet I find myself straying. Why is that? One glimpse of an alternative future, and I catch myself losing the fight to keep my eyes fixed solely on her and Jesus. Viewing the God in her, that transformation taking place on the inside of her soul. Viewed by the world, seen by me, evidenced in her actions, the way she treats others, the kindness she shows to random strangers who have no ability to repay at the side of heaven, except perhaps with a hug and a smile. But that's enough for her. That's all she needs to make it worth her while. She gives them food and a kind word or two. She sends them on their way on a journey, packing scriptures as her ammo against the enemy. No weapon formed against her shall prosper, and every tongue raised in judgment, the Lord above and inside her heart shall condemn. How to be a prince worthy of my priceless princess. I ululate over the fact I seem to find it impossible to remain on the right track. Howling like a wolf, baying at the moon, wishing I was in the arms sooner rather than later. I can't promise that I won't disappoint you or bring you grief, trying my best not to be a cheater or a bidder or just someone who annoys you or engages with topics that disinterest you or just frustrating you with my bone idle laziness. I know we'll gotta work on that. Don't let the devil find a task for these lethargic hands. I could watch your car gaze forever at the twinkling stars hidden within the quadrants of your vision. I don't ever wish to squander the wealth of our beautiful friendship. It's like a fish that God dropped on my dish, and I didn't even have to sink a line in the river to catch it. You caught me by surprise when I wasn't even trying to grab your attention. You saw something you liked in me, then it was on. We were in each other's lives a little more distant back then from this current state of closeness. The more you revealed about yourself, the deeper I found myself falling in love with you, dreaming about you being my honey boo bear. This desire caught me otherwise just before the time when everyone was celebrating their love. I didn't expect you to ever become a free agent. I was complacent until you stirred me up to action. You are the spin that puts up the godliness in me. I'm in a frenzy to see God's kingdom expand ever since the day you put your life in his hands. It's not like you can just wave a magic wand and change the way that you respond to every single temptation in any given situation, but God is with us, strengthening us in our moments of weakness, helping us in our quest to make the best choice instead of the worst. My festiness couldn't keep your little piggy pen, but the more time you spend getting to know me, the more likely I will be to take an interest in you, for you will become more fascinating than the rainbow, curious as to its origins. How do we begin to live out our faith, be real in the world of fakes? I am determined not to flick on you when the days between our chats drag me on the tires like cat. Without action, it can truly be said, love is dodo dead. They can say what they want about me, they ain't never gonna change me. Even if them making plans to rearrange my face, I'm full of his goodness and mercy and grace. The love of Christ in my bay, they shall never be replaced. Even when my life is utterly erased from the memory of this place, drifting through time and space, longing just to reach you, belonging to you is the best feeling in the whole world. Never want this high to go away, drifting on a love cloud all night and day. God is the one that's uniting us. I ain't fighting of enemies, cause he's fighting for us, delighting in us, igniting the holy fire in our hearts, a passion for the Messiah, burning brightly. Now I'm stepping lightly, but not impolitely. When others try to throw shade on the links we've made, yet secretly I've strayed from their thinking patterns. Do I really think they can reach me by pouring a whole heap of judgment down upon me? Now I know what it's like to tread in the kicks of some who have been an unwitting audience to my brutal breakdowns of their lifestyle choices. Meeting with my disapproval, guided by divine voices. I don't back away from that bold claim to represent God's holy truth. Till my dying day, I just find it easier to relate to those who are still debating within themselves over what exactly their identity is. If we don't find it in Christ, told me we won't scoop it out anywhere, scoping the scenery, barely coping with plenty to the declared up for the customs officer, but so the world can hear. The one I call my dear who chases away my tears, who was more than just peers to me, who I can't slip myself away from, not even if I tried. If you heard a story, there wouldn't be an eye in the house that's left dry, unless it's told by a cold heart that never bothered reasoning why someone can get themselves in traps and be wrapped up in the wings of angels, then pulled right out that well of despair. Willing to go where others don't dare to touch. Those areas of raw hurt, provoking reactions, and those still flooded with the enemy skated on thin ice. But she ain't gambling with her life. She ain't rolling those dice no more. My eagle soars. These brain cells know pain well enough to consider it keen. We can kiss and canoodle and pollute our surroundings, made palatial by the bliss of our intimate connectivity. Exclusivity is the way we roll. Every part of me belongs to you. Now stipulate what you require to feel safe. Try not to imagine a worst case scenario where we kick anything in the gut to attempt who attempted spiking a drink. Nobody is gonna hoodwink my homegirl anytime soon. It's obvious to see. I'm covered in the nose, Jim, my sun and moon, star spangled angel who melts my heart of snow. Chucking the match, throw it down the hatch, is the greatest catch this love fish ever did me. I hope I wouldn't be able to just pass you by if you slipped into my side of the street. I feel like wheatgrass, even the feet got class. Don't wish to appear crass, so I don't spit like a rude dude or utilize crudity in any way, in any of my vocab. I have to wait till I can afford to own the treasure of a heart. I can't just smash and grab. This is not a right where looting is the norm. Even then the rules apply, cause we refuse to conform to the world standard of behavior, saying it's only a crime if man calls it in that law. Some fling is watching us, so we get charged or locked up. Remember, God's eyes are always watching. When we walk in his will, we find that news pleasing, not daunting. Brought in the wolf, I've stumbled across in my inheritance in his eternal kingdom. I want to sing of this freedom, worship the Lord, cause he snapped my chains of misery and brought you into my life. It feels like all my dreams are about to come true. All my Christmases arriving simultaneously, cause everybody knows you get the best gifts at the end of the year. Not Thanksgiving or resurrection celebration. I know with certainty this girl is gonna make me believe in heaven's most elevated. I keep on smiling down upon me with continual favor. We gotta hope that us beyond the graveyard. Joined at the hip can split us like an axe does wood or a finger go does banana. I know sometimes I act like I was born in a barnyard, but you have a civilizing influence on the Wild Jungle Academy. I can see you in the future clutching scrolls from my academies. Portrait of a Lady Smith Blackman Buzzle tune come to life. There's a lion curled up on the sofa, sitting pretty with a bowl of cream in her mind's eye. In this concrete jungle with spire, catching its 40 winks when the village is peaceful and still. That doesn't mean the lioness isn't sneaking up the hill, entering through the gates. It's the god I dread dwelling places from harm of the physical and supernatural kind. She is feline, fierce in her determination not to drift back to those old ways. What fascinated her now discuss her. She is on watch against the attacks of the enemy 24/7. She never lets down her vigilant sentry. She stands sentinel, not permitting herself to get sentimental about the past. Do we eye with the pleasures that sin once wrought? She's determined not to get caught out again. The love of Christ has transformed the patterns of her thinking. She is no longer sinking as the stars do behind the horizon into that swampy bog. She is a little frog sitting on a log, hopping away whenever the dogs of temptation come barking around the door of her heart. She will not be torn apart by from her destiny. She is focused on the future. She's got her eyes glued to that heavenly realm. She's going like an elm, taller and stronger every day, thinner and faster in the steps, amazing the wild who knows the best. A small circle of friends, wilder the speedy progress. If they run us up and take us into prison camps, her eyes will be damp for those lost souls facing imminent terror, not the peril of her own situation, for she has built the foundations of her heart in the one she adores to serve with each passing breath, each beat from her cardiac chambers, bringing glory and praise to the one whose exhalation brought her into the world. She is an exclamation mark. She is a reason for the audience to be stunned. Anyone she comes across who happens to ensnare within their ears the most wonderful story they could possibly hear of how her life has undergone metamorphosis. There's nothing that can keep her from embracing her destiny now. The others may come along and attempt to persuade her that right is wrong and vice versa. Her conscience is smarter than their feeble efforts. Locked in Christ's love for life. I hate the fact time would be over you when I've got absolutely no reason to be like this. It's just my fear talking, causing me to shed so much water out my eyes. You're not going anywhere in a hurry, and if you disapprove of anything I ever do or say, it doesn't mean you are straight. You are the type to just tell me straight. Help me to change what needs to be altered in my life in order that I may become more like Christ. We experience crisis situations. You have tasted devastation on your lips, yet it didn't convince you to abandon your faith, because you've still got more reasons to praise the heavens make it and curse them. You know the danger involved in dabbling in darkness. You got a precious carcass that will embark on an instant journey to paradise while you were here with us. peace in the land of the living. Cast aside all your doubts and misgivings, shove them permanently, toss them into the sea. Watch as they sink to the bottom like a heavy stone. You have been carrying this bottle when you were younger, forcing its weight on your shoulders, causing you to grit your teeth in agony. But now you are older, you have shaken it off and let it at the cross. There's no going back for you, no rocks unturned and no holes barred. You won't and you can't be stopped now. They rave and they rant from sun up to moon down. You won't be mowed like blades of grass or snowed under by the avalanche of towering criticism headed your way. I know the Bowser's family cut deeper than the rest of the world ever could. Starts within your veins, but you don't let that blood pour out. Gushing fountains you display restraint. Sensing the calling of El Shaddai. Tensions are eased and shattered completely when your steps are guided by his peace. They wanted to eradicate your happiness, but you wouldn't let them. Stay on point, keep on rocking that joint. Your life is a jukebox for celestial transmissions. You never were a kibitzer whose skull set others trauma. You are a diorama worth exploring. How can I tie my morning more into you? Life is only boring if we choose to let it draw holes of tedium within our skulls. I welcome monotony over loss of you. The infinite sadness of a radicalized heart unstrung from your book. Rabbit seeking through gaps and barbed wire fences, laying down all my pretenses and defenses, wishing I knew how to make sense of my surroundings. Is it any wonder that I've wound up feeling confounded? You haven't wasted your life if you finished it. Well, every single one of us has a story to tell, no matter how bad life gets or how much you fret over your physical health. No torture in this world can compare when placed side by side with the horrendous ordeal of hell. We've been sitting on the fence too long, hiding our light inside our shells. Isn't it about time we started standing up for our beliefs instead of relegating them to dusty shells? Isn't inside homes amongst the globe, stay in God's will and be guided home like darts, missiles and pitchers, led by his spirit for the whole portion of your existence, not just a tiny smidgen. You are never outside his jurisdiction. He can build a bridge over tension and friction. It's amazing how he loves us despite all our contradictions. He only ever imposes restrictions on our behavior for our benefit. Sometimes we have to suffer the repercussions of our disobedience in order to bring him into the center of our discussions. Without him directing your eternal decisions, you will suffer worse than concussion. He can cause all arguments against his existence to immediately begin hushing. That old garbage way of thinking down the toilet we are flushing. We should be bold and our witness not ashamed with embarrassment, cheeks blushing. Despite potentially facing harassment, we want our lives to count for something. We don't fritter away our days wallowing in bitterness. For his spirit, we will blaze bright in this war against our flesh. It will help us navigate our way out this treacherous maze. Some don't see the worth and wisdom, but believe me, to use it effectively pays. Reaping dividends the more time you spend at the feet of Jesus instead of concentrating on expanding your heads. There's no heart too broken he can't mend. Alone for ourselves, he doesn't leave us to defend. He urges us to stand up for truth even if the defense be firm. Thine coloured love bound, the iron-coloured love bound by Omega's hands. It's hard to get used to the idea of being alone. I don't think I ever will, but my savior, you were with me still. The wits are slow and steady journey back uphill. When I have fallen so far down, she was the one that wore the crown I'd given her, dressed in a royal robe, sitting up on the throne of my heart. I know I blew it by acting like we were nothing when we were just finding our feet around each other. You weren't ready for that kind of body heat exchanges yet. Not that I would ever force you to experience it before a ring of beads slipped on your finger and wedding vows were spoken in the presence of a Jesus-loving priest. Is it because I digest the yeast of the Pharisees a little too often? I wonder where I went wrong. It should be easy to pinpoint, twist my egotistical nose out of joint. Take me down a peg or two, cause I sure could use a humbling of my status being lowered in your eyes. How may I rise in your estimation? Would it ever be possible for you to see potential for a relationship in me? I thought we were getting along like that house, sensing the rate of buying enthusiasm for pyrotechnics that crept in through the back door when it should have stayed in the backyard. All it takes is a little spark to start a forest fire burning between us. Once again I hang my head and cry, but what had to die so something else could grow? Another casualty of the world again you trust, and not have it destroyed by my obsessive lust. Always bugging you whenever it appeared you were available to share your most sincere passion with me. I should have treated you like a sibling instead of allowing your beauty to seduce me and lead me astray. You meant different things to me when you utilized terms of endearment. Perhaps they didn't strike so deep a chord in you as they did in me. As far as I'm concerned, you were irreplaceable and indispensable. I don't want to be the one who causes this bridge of friendship to be burned, not knowing if it will ever be rebuilt again. I do come with a filter. You didn't need to see that skittish side of me. That can't decide whether I'm all in or clutching my bottom in pain, getting spiked by the fence post I'm on. Lucidity is ever within my grasp, if not a female's heart. My lyrics send chicks into hysterics like cocaine. I'm off the chain, flammable and high octane. Deprogrammable if I let you crawl in my brain, which I won't, cause then I'll be insane. Throw me in the creek bed where I shall remain. From intentionally doing things to hurt you, I shall refrain. But when I do them accidentally instead of on purpose, you shouldn't complain. I just wanna bring you joy and never cause you pain. But I wanna bind your wounds or serve your fears when you get those tears and suffer from strain. Choking off the influence of your background, showing restraint. Working in the opposite spirit of the picture some try to paint. I'm gonna love you till I black out and faint. I know I've always seen this, but I act like a saint when I'm not wallowing over my sacred stains of your existence. I don't wish to be the bane. If you switch countries, you'd have to change lanes unless you like that soggy moggy taste. Don't leave your cake out in the rain or it will go to waste. You'll have to toss it off the train. The reason people fall in love is hard to explain. I pray no more injuries you shall sustain. You don't inject any substance in your veins. I can see when your interest in me is beginning to wane. I was never that good at the paper in the creams. I hate to watch my own blood as it's dripping down the drain. If you go, I'm counting down the seconds till you come back again. If I ever got the chance to make my dreams come true and be your mine, you gave me so much joy I can hardly be contained. Throw away my side pieces, bother with the mundane. If we were in my room with 5 others, would we sing songs about Jane? We swim against the tide and we go against the grain. Shorty's killing it on the dance floor like a frog's plane. When everyone else is going honey buns, I'm staying. I ain't straying no matter how hard you try to push me away. I will always find a way back to your heart, returning when you least expect it. I will show up in your dreams, directed by your subconscious as conductor. I know you want me to run far from seductive. When I'm with you, I'm more productive. Less abusive, self-destructive. Ego tripping up the pier where the purple disappear in the trace. Jordy's rubbing her eyes, thinks she's having a day, man, cause she wakes up to the fact that I ain't going anywhere. No matter how much she acts cold, recalls at my touch. When I see her, I'm still like, oh, but I can't wait to touch a girl in the heart. Jumpstart her affection when instead is an extinct species of tiger with a saber like inside that how precise you are. Seems like I'm rolling dust, scabbling with the chance that you might find something worth holding onto in me. If you search deep enough, it's possible I could get you intrigued, and trading you to show mercy to a creepy you've dug like me, sneaking around your back door, begging for a little more love, and catching a sniff just to whiff of the delicious chicken in your oven. So enticing is the odor, it almost makes my taste buds explode with desire. I can see you perspire in the heat of the sunshine. You may be straying from my eyes, but you're still staying on my mind. Hey, miss, so sweet, so kind, they must have been blind not to see you were a hottie in primary school. When all the other kids were in there having sex, you refused to let the dirty talk bother you. You kept to yourself, didn't care if they called you square, didn't want to share in his or her sexually transmitted diseases, telling them to please themselves, but it simply wasn't for you. They can back down on their knees, but they still won't convince you to give up your precious flower prematurely, or to allow the pillow great press to be owned by any man or lady. If he wasn't prepared to slip a ring on your finger, then you weren't gonna let him linger. And the only thing on his mind was making babies. Whoa. Now here's the stinger. God said no to the two of us. Even though we were both raised in the church, there's just enough years distance between us to make your dad wary of considering the possibility of us as more than a figment of my imagination. I know if you approve of us, you wouldn't possess a single ounce of hesitation. You say we don't click, but I beg to differ. I'm hung up on your voice like the finest sticker, like chocolate in a bottle. You're the sweet thing I can't get enough of. Let's get hits QT, no bus stops. Peace out.